Have you ever woken up in the morning, looked in the mirror, and wondered why you're feeling more tired than you used to? Maybe your joints ache a little more, or you're not bouncing back from a cold as quickly as you did in your 50s or 60s. If you're over 70, you might be thinking, is this just what aging is supposed to feel like? Well, I'm here to tell you that it doesn't have to be that way. Aging is a part of life, but there are things we do, sometimes without even realizing it, that can speed up the process and take years off our lives. The good news? You have the power to change that, starting today. In this video, we're diving into 5 reasons seniors die early after 70 and, more importantly, what you can do to avoid these pitfalls so you can live longer, feel stronger, and enjoy the years ahead. I'm not just talking about adding years to your life, but adding life to your years, because who doesn't want to keep dancing at family weddings, gardening in the backyard, or chasing after grandkids? So, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's talk about how you can take control of your health and thrive well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Let's start with the first reason, neglecting small health warning signs. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm not ignoring anything serious. I'd know if something was really wrong. But here's the thing, it's not always the big, obvious symptoms that trip us up. Sometimes, it's the little things we brush off. Maybe you've noticed you're a bit more short of breath when you climb the stairs, or your stomach's been acting up after meals, but you chalk it up to just getting older. I get it, life's busy, and it's easy to ignore these small signals. But those little signs can be your body's way of waving a red flag, saying, hey, pay attention to me. Let me tell you about my friend Margaret. She's 72, loves her book club, and walks her dog every morning. A couple of years ago, she started feeling a bit more tired than usual. Nothing dramatic, just enough to make her think, maybe I'm not 50 anymore. She ignored it for months until one day, she mentioned it to her doctor during a routine checkup. Turns out, her fatigue was linked to low iron levels, which could have led to anemia if left unchecked. A simple blood test and some dietary changes made all the difference. Now, she's back to her energetic self, planning a trip to visit her daughter across the country. The key here is to listen to your body. If something feels off, whether it's new aches, changes in your energy, or even trouble sleeping, don't just shrug it off. Make a note of it and bring it up at your next doctor's visit. Regular checkups are your best friend after 70. Things like blood pressure, cholesterol, or even a quick blood test can catch issues early before they turn into something bigger. And don't be afraid to speak up. Your doctor isn't a mind reader, and you know your body better than anyone. Write down your symptoms, no matter how small, and share them. It could be the difference between a minor tweak and a major problem down the road. Now, let's move on to the second reason, staying too sedentary. I know, after a lifetime of working hard, raising families, and keeping up with life, you might feel like you've earned the right to slow down. And you have. But there's a difference between taking it easy and letting your body come to a standstill. Our bodies are designed to move, and when we stop moving, things start to break down faster than they should. Your muscles weaken, your joints stiffen, and even your heart has to work harder to keep you going. Think about it like a car. If you leave it sitting in the garage for too long, the battery dies, the tires go flat, and it's a whole ordeal to get it running again. Your body's the same way. The less you move, the harder it is to get going. But here's the good news, you don't need to run marathons or join a gym to stay active. It's about finding small, doable ways to keep moving every day. Take my neighbor Tom, for example. He's 74 and used to spend most of his days watching TV or reading. He'd always say, I'm too old to start exercising now. But then his doctor warned him that his blood pressure was creeping up, and sitting all day wasn't helping. Tom didn't suddenly turn into a fitness buff, but he started small. He began taking 10-minute walks around the block after lunch. Then he added some light stretching while watching his favorite evening shows. Over time, he noticed he had more energy, his knees didn't ache as much, and his doctor was thrilled with his improved blood pressure. The trick is to find something you enjoy. Maybe it's gardening, dancing to your favorite music in the living room, or even doing chair exercises if mobility is an issue. Aim for 20 to 30 minutes of movement most days, nothing intense, just enough to get your blood flowing. If you're not sure where to start, check with your doctor or a physical therapist for ideas tailored to you. And here's a little tip: try doing it with a friend or family member. It's more fun, and you'll keep each other motivated. So, we've talked about listening to those small health warning signs and keeping your body moving to avoid a sedentary lifestyle. These are two big pieces of the puzzle, but there's more to cover to help you live a longer, healthier life. Let's dive into the next reason, which is all about what you're putting on your plate every day. You know, one of the simplest joys in life is sitting down to a good meal. Whether it's a hearty bowl of soup, a slice of your favorite pie, or just a cup of coffee with a friend, food brings us together and makes us feel alive. But here's the thing: what we eat after 70 can either fuel our bodies for the long haul or quietly chip away at our health. That brings us to the third reason seniors die early after 70, poor nutrition choices. Now, I'm not here to lecture you about giving up your favorite treats, life's too short for that. But making a few smart tweaks to what's on your plate can make a world of difference. Let's be real, eating well can feel tricky as we get older. Maybe your appetite isn't what it used to be, or cooking for one feels like more trouble than it's worth. Or perhaps you're relying on quick, processed foods because they're easy to grab. I get it. My Aunt Clara, who's 76, used to love her frozen dinners. They were convenient, and she didn't have to fuss in the kitchen. But over time, she started feeling sluggish, and her doctor pointed out that all the sodium in those meals was pushing her blood pressure through the roof. That was a wake-up call for her. The truth is, our bodies need the right fuel to keep going strong, especially after 70. Processed foods, like those frozen meals, sugary snacks, or even too many white breads, can lead to inflammation, heart issues, and diabetes if they're the main stars of your diet. Instead, focus on whole foods that give your body what it needs. Think colorful veggies, lean proteins like chicken or fish, and healthy fats like avocados or nuts. These foods help keep your heart healthy, your energy up, and even your brain sharp. Here's a simple tip Clara started using: she keeps her kitchen stocked with easy, nutrient-packed ingredients. For example, she always has a bag of spinach in the fridge. She'll toss a handful into a smoothie with some fruit or mix it into a quick soup. It's low effort but packs a punch with vitamins. She also swapped out her usual white bread for whole grain versions to get more fiber, which helps with digestion, something a lot of us struggle with as we age. If cooking feels overwhelming, try batch prepping simple meals, like a big pot of veggie soup you can eat all week. Or, if you're able, lean on family or community programs that deliver healthy meals. And don't forget about hydration. It's easy to overlook, but drinking enough water is just as important as eating well. Even mild dehydration can make you feel tired or foggy. Aim for 6 to 8 glasses a day, and if plain water's not your thing, add a slice of lemon or sip on herbal tea. Small changes like these add up, and before you know it, you're feeling better and stronger. Now, let's talk about the fourth reason: social isolation. This one hits close to home for a lot of us. As we get older, life changes. Maybe your kids have moved away, friends aren't as mobile, or you've lost a spouse. It's natural to spend more time alone, but too much isolation can take a serious toll on your health. Studies show that loneliness can increase your risk of heart disease, depression, and even early death just as much as smoking or obesity. That's pretty powerful, isn't it? I saw this firsthand with my old neighbor, George. After his wife passed away, he started keeping to himself. He'd always been a chatty guy, but suddenly, he was skipping the neighborhood barbecues and barely leaving the house. His daughter noticed he was losing weight and seemed down, so she encouraged him to join a local senior center. At first, George wasn't thrilled about it. He thought it'd be all bingo and boring chit-chat. But once he went, he found a group of guys who loved playing cards as much as he did. Now, he's there twice a week, laughing and swapping stories, and he says it's like a weight's been lifted off his shoulders. The key is finding ways to stay connected, even if it's in small doses. You don't need a packed social calendar to feel fulfilled. Start with something simple, like calling a friend or family member once a week to catch up. If you're able, join a group that matches your interests, maybe a book club, a gardening group, or even a walking buddy. If getting out is tough, technology can be a lifesaver. Video calls with grandkids or joining an online community can keep you engaged. And don't underestimate the power of small interactions, like chatting with a neighbor or the cashier at the grocery store. Those little moments add up and remind you you're part of a bigger world. If you're feeling shy about reaching out, try this. Think of one person you haven't talked to in a while and send them a quick message or give them a call. Just say, "I was thinking about you, how's life?" You'd be surprised how much joy a simple conversation can bring, for both of you. And if you're struggling with loneliness, don't be afraid to talk to a doctor or counselor. There's no shame in asking for help, and it can open doors to new ways to connect. So, we've covered how eating better and staying connected can help you avoid some of the biggest health traps after 70. But there's one more piece of this puzzle that ties everything together, and it's all about how you take care of your mind. Your mind is like a garden. What you plant and nurture there can either bloom beautifully or start to wither if you don't give it the care it needs. That brings us to the fifth reason seniors die early after 70, neglecting mental health and cognitive stimulation. Now, I know talking about mental health can feel heavy, but it doesn't have to be. This is about keeping your brain active, your stress in check, and your spirit lifted so you can enjoy every day to the fullest. After all, a healthy mind is just as important as a healthy body when it comes to living a long, vibrant life. Let's start with keeping your brain engaged. As we age, it's easy to fall into routines that don't challenge our minds. Maybe you're watching the same TV shows on repeat or not trying new things because they feel like too much effort. But your brain thrives on variety and challenge, just like your muscles need exercise to stay strong. When we stop learning or pushing ourselves mentally, our cognitive abilities can decline faster, increasing the risk of memory issues or even dementia. The good news? You don't need to go back to school or solve rocket science equations to keep your brain sharp. Take my friend Louise, for example. She's 78 and always loved puzzles as a kid. A few years ago, she noticed her memory wasn't as sharp. She'd forget where she parked her car or miss an appointment. Instead of panicking, she decided to lean into activities that challenged her brain. She started doing crossword puzzles every morning with her coffee, and she joined a local library group where they discuss books. She even tried learning a few basic phrases in Spanish just for fun, using a free app on her phone. Louise says it's like her brain got a second wind. She's sharper, more confident, and loves showing off her new Spanish words to her grandkids. You can do something similar. Try activities that spark your curiosity or make you think. Puzzles, card games, or even learning a new hobby like painting or knitting can fire up your brain. If you're tech-savvy, there are apps designed for brain training that feel like games. Or, if you prefer something social, join a discussion group or take a class at a community center. The key is to do something you enjoy so it doesn't feel like a chore. Even 10 to 15 minutes a day of mental exercise can make a big difference over time. Now, let's talk about stress, because it's a silent troublemaker for our mental health. After 70, life can throw curveballs, whether it's health concerns, financial worries, or changes in family dynamics. Chronic stress doesn't just make you feel frazzled, it can raise your blood pressure, weaken your immune system, and even affect your heart. I remember my cousin Ed, who's 71. He used to worry constantly about everything, his savings, his kids, even the weather. It got to the point where he wasn't sleeping well, and he always seemed on edge. His doctor told him that all that stress was taking a toll on his health, and he needed to find ways to manage it. Ed started small. He began taking short walks in the park, where he'd focus on the sound of birds or the feel of the breeze, something to ground him in the moment. He also tried deep breathing exercises, just a few minutes a day, where he'd inhale slowly for 4 counts, hold it, and exhale. It sounds simple, but it helped him feel calmer. Over time, he added a gratitude journal, where he'd write down 3 things each day that made him smile, like a call from his daughter or a beautiful sunset. These little habits didn't erase his worries, but they gave him tools to handle them without feeling overwhelmed. You can try something similar. Find what helps you unwind. Maybe it's listening to music, meditating, or even talking to a trusted friend. If stress feels like it's taking over, don't hesitate to reach out to a counselor or therapist. There's no stigma in getting support, and it can be a game changer. Your mental health matters, and taking care of it is one of the best gifts you can give yourself. As we wrap up, let's think about everything we've covered. Listening to your body's small warning signs, staying active, eating foods that nourish you, staying connected with others, and keeping your mind sharp and stress in check. These are all pieces of a puzzle that come together to help you live longer and feel better. The beauty is that you don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Start with one small change, like adding a walk to your day, swapping out a processed snack for a piece of fruit, or calling a friend to catch up. Those little steps add up, and before you know it, you're feeling stronger, happier, and more energized. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one thing you're doing to stay healthy and thriving after 70? Or maybe there's a tip you're excited to try. Share your thoughts, because we're all in this together, learning from each other. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more tips to live your best life. Here's to embracing every day with energy, joy, and the confidence that you're doing right by your health. You've got this, and I'm cheering you on.